many of you reach out to me and share with me that you're unhappy in your business and you're not really sure where to go, you're a little afraid, or you're asking your family for their thoughts on your ideas and they're not really feeling it and you don't know what to do. And my advice is always stop asking for permission. You know what you have to do. You have to kind of shed these feelings of what you think people are going to think about you and face the facts that you have to deal with and do what you got to do. And I realized that I needed to walk that talk. So last night I closed my business coaching brand, Launch, Grow, Sell. I closed everything. I closed the website, the social media, I archived the Facebook group, no explanation, it was gone. And that was a very difficult decision for me. And a little bit about why I did it, not here to defend it, just kind of giving you some background because I know a lot of people are dealing with the same theme of decisions, is I simply just didn't have time. About a couple months ago, I started rededicating myself to it, and I was, producing new content on the new YouTube channel. I was sending more newsletter emails to my email list. I was trying to get back into the Facebook group. I had committed to showing this brand some attention. But then something happened at work. And for those of you who don't know, I'm still in corporate. I've been in corporate this whole time that I've been doing Style So Me. And I got promoted. It was a surprise. And so I got promoted into management. And since day one, it's been crazy. And so when I had a little bit of downtime at work, when I had my lunch break, I would work on Style So Me. And I thought that I was going to do the same thing with Launch, Grow, Sell. But like I said, after I started jumping back into it with Launch, Grow, Sell, I got a surprise promotion. And immediately that time was gone. So when I'm home in the evening, I'm with my family, I'm taking care of myself, and I'm dealing with Style So Me. I'm shipping orders, answering emails, etc., interviews, woo-de-woo. And the extra time that I thought I was going to have for Launch, Grow, Sell came and went very quickly. And it got to a point where I had to cut bait. And I really didn't want to because people were asking me about it. People were emailing, asking, am I going to start taking coaching clients? My friends are asking me, hey, I see you're doing coaching. How's it going? And I was like, it was an ego battle to say, this is what you know me as. How that's gonna feel weird to me, to having committed to something and just as quickly coming back and saying I can't do it. And with that brand, I had already done that. I started Launch, Grow, Sell over a year ago, and I did it and I stopped because I got busy with Style So Me, and I started up again and then I stopped again. And I was like, oh my gosh, these people are gonna think I'm so wishy-washy. But I had to come and face the facts and say, I do not have an infinite amount of time. I do not. And Launch, Grow, Sell needed a separate website. It needed separate social media. The processes were completely different because the offerings were completely different. And I was like, I had to be real with myself and say, Erin, you have not even gotten Style So Me to the point of that mature vision that you wanted it to be. Why are you starting a new brand? And I know a lot of you are dealing with that same decision. I've helped a lot of people who are multi-passionate and they want to do multiple things. And there are a lot of people who are juggling that well. But for me, most of those people who are doing that well are full-time entrepreneurs. For those of us who are not, we often find ourselves running to the ground. And I was noticing my weight coming back up again. And I was like, Erin, you're not taking care of yourself. You are burning the candle on both ends. This is not healthy. And I said, you gotta stop. Okay. There were so many other things that I wanted to do, but I realized just because I can do it doesn't mean I should. And I'm here to tell you that. And a lot of you are like me. You have these grand ideas. You want to do all of these wonderful things. You are talented at multiple things. But baby, you don't have an infinite amount of time. And if your health, your family, your relationships, your finances are being run into the ground, then you got to cut bait somewhere. And that decision is going to be a fight with your ego. Your ego is going to say, but you failed. What are people going to say? How are you going to answer those questions? And then I realized, Erin, you've dealt with this before. You've dealt with this when you had to close your clothing line. I've had to make a pivot before. I had a clothing line business that failed. And I pivoted. And that's how I got into Style So Me, the pattern line. So something good was birthed from that pivot, but it was very difficult to let go of it. And, you know, I intend to offend no one here, but just bear with me. God was talking to me loudly and saying, Erin, walk away. I got you. Walk away. In my corporate career, I went through challenges that I thought were designed to push me into full-time entrepreneurship, but it wasn't. Those challenges were preparing the table for me to be promoted. And I wasn't aware of all of these things that were happening in the background. Now that I can look back on it and say, now I see why all of those things kept getting blocked for me. All of the efforts, a lot of efforts that I was making behind the scenes with Style So Me, they kept getting blocked. And I was like, what is going on? I don't understand this. But I kept pushing because my ego said, well, you're tenacious. You can do this. You're a go-getter. You're ambitious. Just push through. Find another way. But God was saying, let go. Let go. And I was talking to my husband yesterday. And I was laughing about hearing God's voice and how I'm just not listening. And then it clicked to me. You are bragging about being disobedient to God. I came home. I was driving when I was talking to my husband. When I got home, about an hour later, I sat down, I shut everything down. And for a moment, I felt a little weird. But when I woke up this morning, I felt relieved. And it gave me the mental capacity to focus on my corporate career already. It's been less than 24 hours since I did it. It's given me more mental capacity back to think about Style So Me. And that piece is my internal compass and has always been my internal compass. I just kept going down the road because I was fighting my ego. And I'm here to tell you, if you are in a space where you are fighting your ego, where you are asking for permission from people who really don't know what you have going on in your heart and in your head, listen to yourself. Listen, if you believe in a higher power, listen to that calling. Listen, it may be a whisper, it may be a yell. Listen to it. And yes, it's going to be difficult to imagine a new situation when you are still in your current situation. But don't think about what's coming next. Just think about getting out of whatever you're in that you should not be in. Okay? Some of the thoughts that went through my head that I think a lot of you may fight with as well are, credibility. Like I said, answering questions that may make you uncomfortable. Are people going to trust you? Are people going to think you're flaky and wishy-washy? Yeah, a few people might. But when it came to, and I know that there are people who are going to be like, damn, she just off and on, when it comes to this brand. Yeah, I am. I had the best intentions. I get a great satisfaction from helping people. I really do. But it didn't feel good to me to enter into that space. Was I making money? Yes. But did it feel good? No, it didn't feel good. And God created opportunities for me that took away the time that I needed to keep going down a path that I shouldn't have been on. And I think if you're going through this struggle, if you're watching this video because you're going through the same struggle, I bet that you can think of some moments where you say, was that my exit ramp? Did I just ignore it and keep going? Well, you've got another exit ramp, whether it's an exit or a pivot, whether you need to change lanes or you need to get completely off that mofo. So I want you to learn to listen to yourself. I did not consult anybody. I didn't tell my mama, my best friend. I only told my husband, I'm closing it. Matter of fact, no, I didn't. I told him after I did it. He knew we had been talking about this for months, but I didn't tell him that I actually did it until after I did it. I consulted no one but me and God. And I feel great about it. And I'm offering this story to you because I want you to feel great about where you are as well. When I said that peace is my internal compass, it is not to say that it will be easy. If you are on a place or on a path that you feel peaceful about, and you know that's where you should be, you are going to have challenges. You're going to have challenges on whatever path that you're on. That's not to say it's going to be easy street. What I'm saying is that if it doesn't feel right, if you can't reconcile your head and your heart, then something ain't right. You got to fix something. And don't ask for permission to do it. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because you can do all of these things does not mean you should do all of these things. When you're figuring out when to cut bait, you kind of got to understand what your deal breakers are. Mine is my peace, my health, and my family. If those are in a place of constant turmoil and tension, then something has got to change for me. And it doesn't have to be all three. It could just be one. Because I strive for a state of balance, for lack of a word. I really don't like to use that word, but I strive for a state of balance. There are going to be times where I'm going to be super on my exercise routine and taking care of myself. There are going to be times where I'm spending a whole bunch of time with my family and I feel great about that. And maybe my health is, I put on a couple of pounds. But overall, I'm still happy and at peace. That's my compass. And continuing on with that brand at this time was throwing my peace out of alignment. I was on Instagram recently, and an entrepreneur that I really admire, her name is Myleik Teele. I just ran across one of her stories she did on Instagram where she answered a question. Someone asked her if she was going to update her book list on her website. And her answer was, no, I'm not, because that website is no longer a reflection of me and I think I'm going to take it down. And I said, what? I was like, wow. That spoke volumes to me because her podcast is wildly popular. She is a wildly popular, she probably wouldn't call herself a coach, but she's more of a mentor to a lot of women globally. And she said, you know what? That site's not a reflection of who I am anymore. I'm probably going to take it down. That is the power of the pivot. It takes time to get to a place where you can say, you know what? This is not in alignment with my current and future. I got to cut bait. That's what I had to do. I'm sharing you the ups and downs of doing that and how you can come out on the other side of it, because I hope to inspire you to do the same. Just the way Myleik did, just the way, God guided me to do that. And whatever guide that you follow, I want you to tune in and listen to it. So that's really it. I just wanted to have a transparent moment, little girl time or guy, and just kind of share with you just some thought processes, because that's something I really enjoy doing. I like to sing, you know what? I learned something. I'm going to share it, and I hope it blesses somebody. So that's all I got. If you got questions, leave me a comment. Let me know. And I just want you to leave this video trusting yourself. know that trusting yourself will not absolve you from never having challenges, but it will always keep you in a place of peace. See you next time.